Hello everybody, this is supply chain management unit number 4. So in this time we will be discussing I will be giving you some feedback based on what we wrote on the unit number 4, which technically was unit number 3. So let's look a little bit into the questions, and then first we have that we have this company Peloton, and then we were looking at the relationship that they have with their suppliers. So first of all, we need to understand that Peloton starts as a company that relies heavily on outsourcing. So why do they do that? Firstly, because of capital. Whenever you have a new venture, whenever you are whenever we have entrepreneurship, we have to understand that the capital is limited, and we don't have that strength in terms of the supply chain. We don't have the bargaining power. So because of these limitations, we need to rely on external companies that will be supplying through us, and that was the case of Peloton. So for them, um, initially, they had of course their sorry they had their bike manufacturing company done externally, and then when they reach the numbers, when they reach already the size, and again that bargaining power, then desire to not only do outsourcing but also acquire the company, right? And that gives them a lot of freedom because they have that ability to set their prices, that ability to get those resources in a faster way, and develop more technology into their own equipment. Okay, so for them, they move heavily again. They move heavily in that relationship strategy, from being just an occasional and somehow based on the numbers that they needed, to a very, very strong relationship, a marriage one, which is acquisition. Acquisition, that means it's the ultimate relationship, because in the end, you're sure of that you need to do that. Also, in terms of inventory, they can manage it better, because in the end, we have to understand that this is an online company, and all their purchases are mostly done online. So also agility in their supply chain is very critical. So that's why they look into that. The same thing, then they start to add value into some other areas. So when we have adding value for them, first of all, they had the issue of the music. That is part of their supply chain as well. So you have to understand that supply chain also involves knowledge. It also involves copyrights. And whenever we don't have those copyrights in terms of some services, we need to figure out how we can manage with that supply as well. So in this case, a bad supply chain in terms of a service like this kind of music, it became very expensive for them because they were sued many times. So they had to look also at a very long-term relationship and how it can be a win-win situation for them and also for the company supplying the music as well as some other content. So for them, also, like I said, they had to establish the numbers, get the bargaining power of buyers, and then move into acquiring the copyrights of music, or developing a long-term strategy of an agreement. Sometimes in this case, in this specific case, comes in terms of an agreement that helps them to build that relationship. And finally, we have also the same thing in fashion and apparels. They understand that um, uh, there's there's multiple supplements to the product, so we cannot just say it is just the bicycle. No, it's a whole ecosystem, and in this whole ecosystem of the supply chain, they saw an opportunity. So this means that perhaps they are not expert into apparel. Why? Because they're manufacturing bicycles. Actually, they were not even experts in the manufacturing of the bicycles. Actually, they had the idea, the creation, the content, the digital innovation was there embedded, but they had little or no expertise in the manufacturing of the bicycles, or in apparel, or in how to distribute that apparel as well. So that is where, again, they thought, if we have the strategic intent of growing as a company, that develops fitness into many areas. We have to understand of what are the accessories, what are the complements, and how we can target that as an opportunity. And that's what they did. Again, they get a relationship in terms of the fashion apparel, and they did very well. So when we look at the different supplier relationship strategies, overall we understand that, well, except for the apparel that is an opportunity, the other ones are part of the business. And again, when they needed the expertise, well, in the beginning they didn't have the capital, neither the expertise. They relied too much on external suppliers that already had the expertise. But once they knew what was their business and strategic intent, they decided to acquire those companies that perhaps will give them more freedom into the supply chain. Benefits of them, for them, agility. Agility is here the key role of the key risk that we have in here. Like I said, digital companies don't have that um, luxury of time. They have to supply quickly, they have to supply well, because in the end, also quality, when things fail online, is not the same as when you go, you test, you try, you see, you love it, you buy it. No, and this one is you imagine, you think, and you see, then it fails, then creates very bad reputation for the company. So in this case, they're mitigating a lot of risks by doing the in-house manufacturing, and they are doing very well, because in the end, um, even in this coronavirus situation, they have exponentially grown their customer base, and I think they were ready for it. Of course, this got out of hand, but when it comes to the fitness industry, it's a very large industry, but it's a very volatile industry, and they are securing the market in many ways. They are trying to secure it in many ways, and that's what had made them very successful and raise their IPO and somehow make them a profitable company. Because again, there's many tech companies of fitness that are not making any money, because again, they don't see their revenue stream. They are prime company, they see the revenue stream there, and that's how they approach it. So anyways, that is the assignment. If you have written anything within those lines, you did very well. I think some of you went very strong into stating the different types of strategies as in theoretically, but that's also fine, because you read the articles. Of course, the articles, you read the book, and then the book is explained more in detail, and that is where you add a little bit of better content and better ideas to your answers. Anyways, I saw your answers, and in general, it's a great assignment. You did very well, and well, really, I'm very proud of this class, because really you are doing a fantastic job. Thank you so much. Thank you for all your effort.